ABC Action News is your back-to-school station, and whether your child is already back in the classroom or getting ready to head back, we want to make sure that they stay safe when it comes to wearing those heavy backpacks that you see them in. Tampa Bay Parenting Magazine editor Angela Ardolino is here now with some advice. Always good to see you.
You too.
You know, what's really surprising is that there are a lot of backpack-related injuries. What, more than 7,000 of them every year?
There are, and those are just the injuries we know about kids having right now. What we don't think about is the long-term effect in adulthood when we start having back problems and pain on a regular basis, and it could be caused by something like a heavy backpack or a backpack that's not put on correctly. So it's really important that we know that our kids are wearing it correctly and properly so that they don't get the problems.
Okay, now you see them sometimes and they're kind of, humped over because the backpack is so heavy, but what are some other signs to look out for to know that maybe it's just too much stuff in there?
That's an awesome sign. If you see them kind of leaning forward and it's kind of sagging in the back, that usually means their backpack is way too heavy. Not only is it too heavy, they're wearing it improperly. Baycare says that St. Joseph Children's Hospital says it's very important for kids to make sure that they have them both on and that it's 2 inches above their waist to make sure that they're wearing it correctly. So if they're leaning forward, that's messing up their posture. You're going to want them to stand up and make sure that it's put on correctly. Some other things you want to look for is make sure that they have big, wide, padded arm bands so that they put them on. If you see any redness on your child's arm, shoulders, or anything like that, or they have trouble putting it on, that's also another sign that it's too big, it's too bulky, it's not working out for them. So it's really important that you do it. St. Joe says it should not be more than 10 to 15% of your child's overall body weight. So if that book bag feels heavy, we need to do something about it. Some book packs like these have a whole bunch of different types of pockets so they can distribute the weight so that they don't put everything on one side and maybe makes them lean a little bit to
you got a
right
area for the water bottles.
That's right, so that they can distribute the weight and still feel it. Make sure that they know to put the heaviest stuff kind of towards their back so they have more support. But if it does feel too heavy, put it on, get their ebooks on a tablet or something. Maybe you also can get home copies of books so they have one at school and one at home so that they don't have to carry it back and forth. But we know a lot of schools don't have lockers anymore, so these kids are carrying everything around. So find ways to lighten the load for them and make sure they understand why it's correct. You see so many of them walking with the one shoulder because it looks cooler, but make sure they understand that that could cause them damage and pain later in life.
Some of the backpacks come with rollers, but some schools don't allow that right now.
That's
but
right.
That might be another way to kind of alleviate some of the weight.
That's also great for little kids when they can roll it along and take it with them and not have to worry about lifting it. It's a great way to alleviate it, but you're right, some schools don't allow it. But wearing it properly, this is for them to carry that load. Just make sure they're carrying it safely and with a good backpack.
Fantastic. Great advice as always.
Thanks.
And Angela will be back with us next week. We'll continue our back-to-school coverage, and we'll talk about how to get organized for school. If you miss any of her points or you want to share the information with another parent, go to abcactionnews.com. You can also find help with a variety of parenting issues at tampabayparenting.com. And while you're there, sign up for a subscription to Tampa Bay Parenting Magazine.